Welcome back everyone to the Hello World guys. This is another episode of the Android game development series, and in this video we are going to do some organization of our game project. Alright, so first of all I've got my render.h opened up here, and as you can see we have made some changes here. First of all, we have got a new struct called draw command, and this struct will contain all of the information that is necessary to draw a single thing on the screen. And currently it just consists of a transformation matrix, a GLM mat4, which is just a 4x4 matrix representing the transformation or the model matrix. And then we've got a pointer to a texture. This can be null if there is no texture that needs to be applied. So we've got this, and we've also got our transformation here. So this draw command structure, will add more stuff to this later on as we need more stuff, and currently we are going to just have this here. And inside of our renderer you can see we have got a function called doFrame, and this now takes a vector of draw commands, and it will just draw each of those one by one. So from our main program we'll just pass in a vector of draw commands, and then the renderer will draw them. So this will keep everything nicely organized. Now, as I said, this texture is optional. We can skip the texture, and if we skip the texture we need to have a default texture that we need to apply, and for that we are going to just have a white texture here. So we've got just a unique pointer to a texture here which we just call white, and since this white texture we are not going to load from a file, instead we are going to just manually hard code it inside of our render.cpp. So for that reason, inside of the texture.h header I have got a new constructor for the texture which takes a width, height, and a pointer to data directly. Instead of loading it from a file, we just take the pointer directly, and as you can see we directly just initialize it and upload everything here, so that we don't have to load from a file. Instead we just do it directly. So now I'm going to go under render.cpp, and as you can see in the very beginning, what we do is as you can see we have got a basically our white color here, and since our textures are stored in RGBA format, so we have got 4 unit 8 here, and all of them are 255, which means this is a solid white color. And in the constructor at the very end, after initializing our main OpenGL and everything, we set our white color. We use std make unique to actually create a unique pointer, and then for the values we just pass 1 and 1 for the width and height. This is just a 1 by 1 texture, consists of a single pixel, and then we pass our white array for the actual values. So once we have done that in the doFrame function, now you can see we have got our draw commands here. First of all, we set up everything that we don't need to change for each command. For example, we use our program, we set the projection matrix, then we bind our vertex array, then we bind the element array buffer as well, and we set the active texture to 0. And then we go over each of the commands here, and then we use GL uniform matrix for FB to set the model to matrix to the command's transformation matrix, and then we use GL bind texture, and if the command has a texture, if it's not null, then we set it to the texture's ID, otherwise we use our white texture's ID instead. And then we use GL draw elements to actually draw this, and as you can see this is a really nice interface that allows us to just keep the renderer separated from the main part of the program. And this single function is basically all we need to do for our whole frame rendering. Now the next thing we are going to do here is we've got a new class called game here in this header file game.h, and this is going to be our main class that is going to handle all of our game related stuff, and this is the one that we are now going to access in our main.cpp instead of accessing the renderer directly. So this class just has a constructor which takes an Android app pointer as well as an update function, and currently the update function takes no arguments. We'll add some arguments to it later. And then for the private variables we've got a renderer here inside of the game now, and we've also got a test texture here. So if I go under game.cpp, you can see that when we initialize this, we just set our renderer to this app here, and for the test texture we just load it from the Android robot.png. And inside of the update function we create a vector of draw commands, and the way we initialize it, we create draw command with just an identity matrix. So an identity matrix means just default transformation, nothing special, and we actually leave the texture out, so it's going to be null, which means that we are going to draw the white texture. And then we have another draw command here, and for this we just scale it by 0.5, which means we just shrink it down to half the size, and then we pass our test texture for actually drawing it. and then in the end we call render.doFrame with our draw commands. So this is going to basically draw like a white square and then draw the Android robot on it, and the Android robot is going to be downscaled. So if I go under main.cpp now, inside of here, instead of allocating and using the renderer directly, we now create a game and store that in our user data. And when we are going over each frame, we just we cast our app's user data to a game pointer, and then we use game update instead of using render here directly. And this is going to allow us to basically have all of the functionality in our game class, and our main is not going to have like too much of the actual functionality here. It's going to just call the appropriate functions in the game class. So here, if I run this now, you can see that we get the correct picture here. There is like our white background here, which is where we pass null for the texture, and then we've got a downscaled image of the Android logo here. So that means that our game class is working, and this is going to be pretty much it for this video. It was a bit of a short video because we just set up some of the game organization, and in the next video we can move on to actually adding some game live functionality to this, and also improving our renderer to support more stuff. So that's going to be pretty awesome. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that, and share this video with other people as well, and I'll see you in the next one, and bye. So here, if I run this now, you can see that we get the correct picture here. There is like our white background here, which is where we pass null for the texture, and then we've got a downscaled image of the Android logo here. So that means that our game class is working, and this is going to be pretty much it for this video. It was a bit of a short video because we just set up some of the game live functionality to this, and also improving our renderer to support more stuff. So that's going to be pretty awesome. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that, and share this video with other people as well, and I'll see you in the next one, and bye. So here, if I run this now, you can see that we get the correct picture here. There is like our white background here, which is where we pass null for the texture, and then we've got a downscaled image of the Android logo here. So that means that our game class is working, and this is going to be pretty much it for this video. It was a bit of a short video because we just set up some of the game organization, and in the next video we can move on to actually adding some game live functionality to this, and also improving our renderer to support more stuff. So that's going to be pretty awesome. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that, and share this video with other people as well, and I'll see you in the next one, and bye.